Investors are 50% more likely to sell a stock that's winning than one that's losing. And the winners they dump go on to beat the losers they keep by 3.4% every year after. That's not bad luck. That's a bug in your brain, and it's costing you the one thing that actually builds wealth. Here's the strange part. The instinct to sell a winner feels responsible. Disciplined. Like you're locking in a smart gain. But that same instinct is why most people never own a single stock long enough to change their life. Let me show you the trap and how to escape it. In 1998, a finance professor named Terence O'Dean studied 10,000 real brokerage accounts. He found something disturbing. Investors sold their winning stocks far too eagerly and clung to their losers, hoping to break even. He gave it a name: the disposition effect. We feel the pain of a loss about twice as hard as the joy of a gain. So we sell winners to feel the win and hold losers to avoid feeling the loss. Peter Lynch, the man who returned 29% a year for 13 years, said it best. Selling your winners and holding your losers is like cutting the flowers and watering the weeds. And when O'Dean tracked what happened next, the winners people sold kept climbing. The losers they kept sinking. But here's what nobody tells you about the real cost. A stock can only fall 100%. But it can rise 1,000%. 2,000. 20,000. That asymmetry, that's the entire game. Look at Amazon. It went public in 1997 at $18 a share. It crashed almost 90% in the dot-com bust. Imagine holding through that pain. Most people didn't. But the ones who held? A $10,000 investment at the IPO is worth well over $2 million today. One stock. One decision to not sell. And it's not just the famous ones. Monster Beverage, yes, the energy drink, rose more than 200,000% since 1995. That turns $1,000 into over $2 million. Nobody sells a 2,000 bagger. Because almost nobody holds one. So let me ask you directly. Which camp are you in? Do you sell once a stock doubles, or do you let your winners run? Tell me below. Here's the counterintuitive truth that took me decades to accept. The best investors in the world are wrong most of the time. In a typical portfolio, a handful of stocks produce almost all the gains. The rest go sideways or lose money. That's normal. That's expected. Your job isn't to be right often, it's to be enormously right on the few that work, and let them compound for years. But the disposition effect does the exact opposite. It makes you snip off the 3 flowers the moment they bloom, and keep watering the 7 weeds. You end up with a portfolio of your worst ideas. Warren Buffett bought Coca-Cola in 1988 for about $1 billion. He's never sold a share. Today that stake is worth over $25 billion, and it pays him more in annual dividends than his entire original cost. Every year. Forever. Remember what I said at the start, the winners you sell beat the losers you keep. This is why. You're not just losing a gain. You're losing the compounding of a lifetime. Now, this isn't never sell. That's just as dangerous. The skill is knowing the difference between a price moving and a business changing. Ask one question. Has the reason I bought this changed? If the moat is eroding, the earnings are collapsing, or management is destroying value, sell, no matter what the price did. That's discipline. But if the business is still strong and you're only selling because the number went up? That's the disposition effect wearing a disciplined mask. Don't fall for it. Sears was a great business until it wasn't. Holding a broken thesis is how you water weeds. Selling a healthy winner is how you cut flowers. Learn to tell them apart, and you've mastered the hardest part of investing. So here's the transformation. Once you stop selling winners to feel smart, your portfolio stops being a collection of your worst ideas and starts becoming a collection of your best ones. You let the flowers grow. You pull the weeds. And you give compounding the one thing it needs most time. Remember this line, and send it to the friend who just sold their best stock. Winners get sold because they feel finished. But the great ones are just getting started. Did this flip how you think about selling, yes or no? Tell me in one word below. And tomorrow, I'll show you the opposite mistake, the losing stock your brain keeps begging you to hold.